Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fleet Plays Race to the North. Yes, it's been a while, hasn't it? It's also been a while since you've had a solo Saturday, and for that I do very much apologise. I have been very distracted with a lot of things I've had to deal with, and so for that I do apologise. Wasn't my intention at all. But yep, we're back now on a Saturday, middle of the day. Nice chill time. Here to play some Transport Fever 2 once again. I hope you'll all join me as we continue our endeavour to move things and make money. Well, try to, anyway. Anyway, so, I think a good review of where we were. So, if you recall, when we last left off, we just brought these 282s into service to work the heaviest Scottish trains. And we were experimenting with some diesel rail cars to work certain services. Although I wasn't very happy with their power to weight ratio, so I might be replacing them. Crack Expresses, the Pullmans, are worked by A4s. Although we do have some electric traction working certain parts of the network. There's also some other things going on. So, for example, I believe... Oh, that's the Flying Scotsman. I believe one of the Scotch trains is worked by a pair of LMS 1000 diesels. I believe. Well, I could be wrong on that. Wouldn't surprise me, though. We'll check that, though. Got a wide menagerie of stuff on the network, though. Really, really do. I'm sure I converted one of these to being worked by diesel traction. No, apparently not. There's the Stopping Express, which is not a Pullman, but is still a fast express, which provides a link from London to the north. I mean, these P2s are basically required to work these heavy Scotch trains. They've got the power, they've got the speed. Move 500 tons of passenger train from a standing start up to a mile a minute and hold it, then slow it down and then get it back up to speed again. And of course, the electrified lines, the secondary routes, are still in play. Worked by loco-hauled electric traction imported from Switzerland. Although how we imported them from Switzerland in 1943, we're not quite sure. There we go. There's the local trains that run the line out towards King's Lynn. Heavy stock worked by LMS 282s. I believe the expresses on this line are still worked by, or markedly are still worked by Pacifics. Yes, they are. Still worked by unstreamlined Coronation or Duchess precursors. Do we have any coronations? I'm fairly certain we should do. Um... We do have a few electrics that can work things. And a lot of EMUs as well. But not too much. Ah, and here's a diesel railcar set coming in from Harwich. Oh no, it's not. Sorry. Oh no, it is actually. It's a driving luggage van with a push-pull rake. I forgot. Yeah, that's how we worked that section. There's the coastal electric route from Boston to Grimsby. Ah, yes, I converted this to be worked by crocodiles because we needed the extra power. Now I remember. It removed a lot of the bottlenecks working these trains with crocodiles. They can start trains on the heavy hill much quicker. There we go. Of course, for Onward Transit, it's all onto additional goods trains. Speaking of, how long have you chaps been working with 060s for? 18 years, Jesus. A bit long in the tooth, aren't you? Yeah, you are a bit long in the tooth. Yeah, see if we can't get you a replacement. Speed things up a bit. What have we got for heavy goods work? We could have a modern 6-coupled engine, which will probably be somewhat more for the course. Again, if we can extend these trains, that might not be a bad idea. That may not be a bad idea, actually. Okay. I need the goods wagons, please. Thank you. We may as well lengthen the train. There we go. And where's the other one? Oh, okay, that is that one. And where is he going? Oh, he's on his way into York right now. Probably he's stomping up out of the gradient, out of York, out of the under York tunnel. I think that's the first thing we need to do is have a real look at our freight network and see what needs reworking and what doesn't. I know some of our heavy freight operations have been reworked, but not all of them. There are still some anachronisms that persist. Although some are fine to persist. These 280s have been working these trains for ages, so you don't need to replace them. Actually, let's go through as we always do, which is we go via condition for replacement. Okay. So all of our electric passenger trains that we have are not you. You. And... Not you. So all of you need reworking because... I don't want to keep the same electric if I can avoid it. Diesel rail cars not really working right now. Whatever replaces them needs to be electric in some way. Oh. That'll work. Okay. Right. It is now bus time. And the generic British half-cab bus is about to come in and bus all over these people. Despite its... Well, quite frankly, it doesn't matter how much it costs. We have the money. We have a serious amount of dush. A very serious amount of dush. There we go. Honestly, anything that isn't very good is basically getting replaced at this point. A lot of these vehicles have been around since the 18... No. No. And if this doesn't revolutionize bus travel in our cities, I don't know what will. Carries more people, quicker, than, well, pretty much anything else I can think of. And of course, for any seriously busy routes, we've got double-deckers. I don't think we're going to need them. But you never know. Double-deckers are no bad thing. Wow, 3 people actually watching on a Saturday afternoon. How y'all doing? Having a good time? Hope you're enjoying your day as much as I'm enjoying mine. So, yeah, replace you with the buses. There we go. Yeah, this is needed doing for a while. I wish that, like, I can't wait for the new management features that have been promised in Transport Fever 3. Like, you can replace by vehicle. It's going to be great. There we go. Now, if passenger numbers absolutely explode on the railways because of the revised timings that passengers can get with the new, much faster buses, that's going to be something I'm going to have to deal with. Because the faster connections are at both ends, the less time the passenger will calculate they'll have to wait, which then means they can travel further. And those who want to travel further will be able to travel further. Which will have a dramatic impact upon the flow of people around the nation. I'm also tempted, because I know that there are some people who just will not use public transit if they can avoid it, who will just drive. I mean, I did build the Great Northern Road so people could drive all the way from London to Edinburgh. But I'm loath to build what could be charitably described as the M1. Okay, we've got to have something better than this. Yeah, that'll do it. They're faster, they carry the same amount. Call me the bus man. For fuck's sake. Most of my... Oh my god, most of my fleet is old. Most of my fleet is old. To be fair, these traction engines, when they first came around, were the best thing since sliced bread. Like, there's no way to sugarcoat that. They were easily the best thing since sliced bread. There we go. There we go. Oh. Oh, yep. Hang on. You're an 042. I didn't think any of you were still left. You're fine. Okay, so the rest of our buses are motorised mostly. They're older, but they're still motorised, which is fine. Oh, a Douglas DC-4. New electric locomotives. A new tram. More steel. Let's see, where the hell are these buses actually in service? You know, I probably need to upgrade my trams. We use these modern and very swish bogey cars to work our trams. There's also some into urban work. There we go. Wonder where have our new buses actually appeared? There'll be somewhere, and I know for a fact that we had a lot of new buses that were made. A lot of them. I know Harrogate is an entirely tram-worked city with 2 circulars providing most of... Oh no, we do have some buses, but they are not the modernish type. They're still fairly reliable though for inner city transit within Harrogate. What about Leeds? Leeds has always been... Ah, here we go. Leeds has a full set of new modern buses. Okay, the Leeds circular is proving to be very, very popular. A lot more popular than expected. We may have to do some upgrades here. In fact, yes, we probably are going to have to do some upgrades here. There we go, that adds a central first-class compartment car to the rake. Gives them a little bit more capacity, but also doubles their acceleration by making them faster. Since speed is what matters here, not so much absolute running cost. Since Leeds station is still one of, if not the busiest on the network. Which ironically mirrors real life. Oh, good lord. Let's get them replaced with buses, shall we? If we're only going to have one circular, it better be quick. Or at the very least, quicker. Well, at least the Huddersfield circular is pretty good, although the buses are not. Again, for some reason the Huddersfield buses are the same old junk. This is the thing, when your network gets this big, you spend as much time maintaining it as you do actually expanding it. The Leeds, Wakefield, Huddersfield, Bradford circular. As I expected. Oh, I hope. Wait a minute. Chaps, I think we have our first candidate for actually having double-deckers. Gentlemen, may I present the classic British Leyland double-decker bus. This is perhaps the only city where there is actually demand for it. Hey, even Skipton's actually grown. There's lots of trains that have to run. I mean, this is York. York is very busy. Always is. Okay, I think, again, another candidate has been found for double-deckering. I think this is one of those places where a fleet of double-decker buses may actually be a valid and needed improvement. Although, have to see. Yep. These old GWR 2800s they've still got it. Still got the grunt work to move. Actually, what is my most profitable line? It is actually the Northern Express. Oh my god, the Northern Stopping Express is the most profitable line. It's the second most profitable. And that's only just behind the, oh dear. London goods train. I'd almost say it's propping up the entire company, but, well, that's not really the case. Profits massively outstrip. Oh, wow. Look at that. Insane. Okay, so... I think we might need wider city streets. As much as that is going to upset York City Council, I think York does need some wider city streets. There we go. Yeah, at 042. Thought you lads have been phased out ages ago. In favour of 060s. What are you still doing here? Keep him. Keep him as like a little pet. Right, okay, so that's that bit done. Ah, Selby. Here's where it all started. Selby's where everything began. And it's where our company headquarters is. Jesus, look at that. 885,000 kilometers of track. 70 kilometers of bridges, 100 kilometers of tunnels. My God. I think it all started with this line. This line is the same one that started, well, no, second one that started the big expansion north and south. All, well, nearly a year ago now, actually. Admittedly, it's worked by much bigger locomotives than it was when it was built. But still worked by steam all these years later. And this line, curving off away from its bay platform, this is the line that started it all. Worked now by electrics, but still as popular as it ever has been. Selby to Hull. Hull to Grimsby. Ah, Hull's got some buses. Well, new ones anyway. People have cars for local transit, but there's no intercity road network, so everything has to travel by my network. And it does. It does travel by my network. Diesel mechanical rail car, you see. The regional services through from through to Darlington, through Bishop's Auckland to Durham are not. Oh, well, that's. We can probably actually just expand the Durham suburban network without actually increasing the number of buses. And given their increased top speeds, we'd probably still be fine. At least I'd guess so. There we go. It goes to Albert Road. Albert Road. Now Victoria Road. Then the Avenue. Then back to Manchester Road. There we go. And those buses will sort themselves out in a minute. Go. And all is well on the network. Even the ferries are actually getting going in a major way. Although it's about time we put DC4s on the run from London to Edinburgh to provide a comfortable and fast passenger journey. Now then. The Scots actually taking on passengers for its southward run, which I'm very amazed I actually managed to get going. Pulled by Sir Ralph Wedgwood. A double chimneyed A4. There goes one of the Scotch regional EMUs. I do plan to keep the Railways of Scotland dieselised, since it's proven to be very popular with the travelling public. In point of fact, actually, there are certain parts of the Scottish network that are actually so popular that trains are actually suffering overcrowding. Albeit not in all places. Have some ferries to close some gaps and try and make faster connections possible. Okay, let's have a look. Don't really have any diesels right now. Not really. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there for now. I'm actually going to wait for better diesel traction. But even if the trains are running slightly full, it's not too big of a deal. Oh yeah, the Edinburgh to Dunbar commuter belt, yeah. Interesting part of the whole thing. There's Phoebe Stewart in her little automobile. How is she driving it? Like, how are you driving that? The wheels in a crotch. How are you driving that, Phoebe? What are you doing? I think people can. There is some motor traffic up and down the Great North Road. Not perhaps as much as you might expect, but there is some. Oh. The Edinburgh to Hexham is still worked by the older electrics. I mean, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. They've got the grunt work for it. Okay. Let's actually see about getting to 1945. Let's end World War II, shall we? Even if, well, we're not really bothered about it because it's not really affecting us. Good lord. I think the all-up weight on those trains is going to have to get heavier. If they're running fully loaded as they are. Gannett is in charge of this set. Jesus. Okay, so that's... yeah, all up. Maybe it's just extreme passenger numbers. It can't be that much, can it? Ah, that's why. There's a heavy build-up of passengers there. Maybe they'd welcome a dedicated passenger train. Well, something fairly short. Operating out of a short bay platform built exclusively for it. Designed to offer a service to the Scottish capital. Directly. Okay, here we are, 1945. What do we get? Okay, some narrow gauge. Late model A4s. Some more P2s. Some new 460 tender engines. More crocodiles. Okay, more Güterwagons. So many Güterwagons, I don't know what to do with them all. More LNR A2s, more LNR P2s. Okay. So, you might say to me, well, Jacob, what is this thing that you're going to actually do? Well, given the high demand to travel between Berwick-on-Tweed, between Alnwick and Edinburgh, a special train is going to be laid on. And you might say, well, what's going to work the train? You'd need something small but powerful. You're damn right. I would need something small and powerful. Luckily, I've got something small and powerful. The Park Royal Railcars. 2 of these. Shall be more than sufficient to work the new intercity diagram. And they'll unbunch only in their special platform in Alnwick. What the fuck? What the fuck is that? Why is Tom Scott in this rail car? Why is Tom Scott the spooky man? What the fuck? That is... Yeah, because these rail cars are diesel mechanical. There's like the guy who serves shit to the people on the train. That is disturbing. Yeah, just a bit. There we go. Oh shit. Oh shit. Steady boy. Leave it. Still. Because it's a diesel mechanical. Because it is shifting gears like a car. It's a diesel mechanical. Yeah. The sound probably doesn't sync quite as well. Still not a patch on regular Steam workings, though. Especially the especially the good old London to Edinburgh stopping services. Well, just limitations of Transit River 2 sound section, I would say, rather than anything like that. Also, people who game and don't touch grass are not the people designing games. Trust me. Trust me when I say this. If you are a game designer, you've got to be out there touching grass and having a real life, because otherwise you just don't fucking survive. Take it from somebody who looks to move into the industry. Either you have a social life and friends, or you burn out. Go. Okay, that's that. Even our secondary lines now have streamlining. Okay, let's actually have a bit. Let's actually go forwards to 1946. See if we can get anything to actually replace the old, Okay, so the red arrows are not doing it. Not in the same way they should be, anyway. Oh, the line is that important, so it'll get first-class corridor stop. And much snazzier EMUs to swish the passengers up to the mountaintop resort of Hexham, where they can change for either the Kirkby Stephen or a train ride to Edinburgh. Which does mean that I need to upgrade the track. To accommodate the significantly faster running. Oh god, yeah. I mean, I've got a whole stream back catalogue of Railroader streams I did a while ago. But I stopped playing it on streams. It was kind of sapping my enjoyment of the thing. And then, yeah, and like, because I can't really play Railroader if I've not got a good crew with me. And if I don't have a good crew, then I don't feel like streaming. And then I stream with like 1 or 2 people and we'd like get very little done. And yeah, it was a whole feedback loop. And so I just stopped streaming Railroader. But there is a whole back catalogue of all of the Railroader streams that I ever did on YouTube. So, they're all on there if you want to go have a look at them. Oh dear. There you go. Well, the YouTube channel is right there. I have a nice bag catalogue of bits and bobs on there. So, it's worth having a look through. It's also where all the ramblings are. Those who might not be aware, I do a weekly Q&A on a Monday. And it's streamed on YouTube, not on Twitch. So anyone who wants to ask me any questions needs to go over to YouTube. Because that's kind of an important distinction I have made, is I'm keeping those two nice and separate. But cheeky sod, that 210 was stopped both oil trains. Just when that 280 we got a nice head of steam going. Seagull. Wait, do all of my different A4s have names? No, they all have different names. So you don't have a name. That's Seagull. So the other one will probably be on its final dash down towards London, I'd reckon. So sorry, momentary distraction here, folks. Got to figure this out. Brilliant. Ah, here we go. Yeah, Golden Shuttle is working the train in the other direction. So each of the A4s has its own name. So that's Sir Murdoch. Sorry, Sir Morrow Wilson on the upbound run from London. Downbound into London is Dominion of Canada. Okay. On the southbound, on the Master Cutler from Sheffield, is Walter K. Wigham. Northbound, probably on its final approach to Sheffield. After probably being held at probably what looks like a slack behind a slower train, having to accelerate towards Sheffield now, is Sparrowhawk. So yeah, each of the individual K4s has its own name. Nice. Working. So the two A4s that are passing each other now is. Oh, that's Sir Murdoch Wilson again, and that's... Oh, that's not! That's Sir Nigel Gresley! That's Sir Nigel Gresley. On the southbound Flying Scotsman is Sir Ralph Wedgwood, I think. Yep, Sir Ralph Wedgwood has the southbound Scot. Hey up! I see that. That's a diesel engine. Indeed it is. Our first proper diesel locomotive. So, let's have a look and see what the specs actually are, shall we? So, our first proper standard gauge diesel. 1700 horsepower, 184 kilonewtons of tractive effort. That compares very favourably with a lot of our smaller passenger power. And if you put two of them together, that actually outclasses a lot of our express engines. Even things like the monstrous P3s. So I have to wonder. Could two of these diesels operating in tandem be as effective working one of the heavy Scotch stopping passenger trains as one of the P3s? Well, let's find out. It's the first time we've actually had proper mainline diesel haulage, so it'll be interesting to see how they actually do. Yeah, they're getting away pretty smoothly. And to be fair, they can also take over some of the other diesel-hauled workings. So, for example, the heavy trains on the Scottish line that are actually being used to the point that they are being, well, too heavily loaded, well, they can actually be worked by these diesels now. 2 first-class corridors, a kitchen buffet car, some third-class corridors, a third-class open, and a break end. Sorry, break end open. In theory, this will make the trains not only faster, but also much more able to handle the traffic loads demanded of them. And when it comes to the smaller workings, which are actually also overloaded, this gives us an opportunity to... Because basically, one of the things about the Scottish railway network is that it is basically fully dieselised. Apart from the express train, which is worked by a Stania Pacific. And here we have another chance for these guys to prove themselves. Again, by working some of the local Scottish trains. With a luggage van. A first-class corridor. A kitchen buffet car. A third-class corridor. And a third-class break open. Providing significantly increased ability to carry passengers. All while being slightly faster with a top speed of 93 miles an hour, and having a bit more horsepower and a bit more tractive effort than what came before. We'll have to see how they do, but I reckon, what do people reckon? These new mainline diesel engines, I think they're here to stay. I think for certain lower capacity routes, I think they are definitely here to stay. Until more modern diesel multiple units come along, I reckon they're absolutely here to stay. Although the real challenge is this. It's the climb up to Pitlochry. It's one of the steeper mainline grades that I actually have on the network. Let's fix our camera on Pitlochry and see how the train actually handles it. Not a bad run to Pitlockery, but no better than what was managed during Steam days. Also, thanks for subbing to the channel. Every little bit helps, Januska. Every little bit helps. Also, it's Jamnuska, not Januska. Wait, was that M always there? Okay. Okay, the Alnwick to Edinburgh. Run is proving a lot more popular than I thought it would. Where's the DMU? Where's the other one? Oh, it's there. Speaking of which, the experimental test service should actually be drawing northwards. Nope, that's the other one. Here it is. Just left Newcastle. The horsepower figures are roughly the same. Okay, the steam engine does have slightly better horsepower, but not by much. And the diesels do have better tractive effort than the steam engine does. Right. How long have I been going? Oh, really? Only an hour? It feels way less than that. It's not so bad. Right, okay. Not just going around and finding things that I haven't fixed yet. And fixing things that need fixing. Okay. Clan goods, A3s. That's fine. A2s. Blah, blah, blah. P1s in BR, even though it's 1948 and British Railways wouldn't appear for another year yet. That's fine. Okay. Hmm. 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 Let me think. Big think, big think, big think. I've not looked in at the Scarborough line, one of the busiest sections on the network. I probably should. Make sure everything's functioning as it should be. Everything seems to be reasonably alright. So far as I can tell, everything's mostly fine. Not perfect, mark you, but mostly fine. Okay, so the Garretts are running fine on there. No problems to report. The Scarborough EMU sets are doing a fine trade over there. That's fine. Hull is getting... Oh, that's bigger. That's bigger. What is the biggest city on the map anyway? Let's have a look. It's London, followed by Leeds, then Hull, then Newcastle. London is still bigger. Then again, London starts bigger, so that's not surprising. Okay. Okay. Alright then. So, all that being said, Everything seems to be mostly functioning as I want it to. Not perfectly, mark you, but... See, it's at this point that I start getting prone to prestige projects. And it all goes wrong from there. We'll see. Not sure. Maybe. Ah, yeah, the last stronghold of the GWR 060s. Still here. Oh, it's Top Hat Terry in his whimsical combustion wagon. Still working after all these years. I tell you what. As a special treat, we'll get it to 1950, and I'll show you some of the other games that I've made over the years. If that's what people want. If not, I'll close the stream down and we'll pick it up next week with more to do. But otherwise, if people don't mind, if at least one person in the chat wants it, I'll show you some of the other games that I've done where I've had to deal with significantly tougher terrain than this and how I dealt with it. Anybody say something? It's fine either way. Okay. I think it's one of the only express trains we have not worked. Oh, no, there's the one in Scotland as well. So this one is worked. Well, 460 might be about to displace this train from working its express. Heads. There's the Hull Pullman. Slowing for the crossover. That is the only thing. That is the only thing. I might need to rework Doncaster Station. Well, folks, here we are in 1950. We have officially entered the 50s. The era of the big band jazz, the beginnings of what we would know as rock and roll. And some other things as well. And I hope you'll all be here next weekend to watch as we go through all that. And deal with the 50s, since I think we're basically back. Although it might be on and off again, depends entirely on how I'm feeling. Because I felt very Transport Fevery today, but there's no guarantee I'll feel Transport Fevery next weekend. But we'll see. We'll see. Take care, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic Saturday, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.